All right, welcome to episode 5 of Wildcat Chats. Thanks for being here today. Braden, you were just here yesterday too for Career Day, so thank you. This episode is one that we wanted to do from the beginning, talking about the early IT program so kids can learn about it. And you guys both kind of went through that. So we'll kick it off with you guys introducing yourselves.
All right, so my name is Braden Cummins. I graduated from Berg in 2020, and I am a data engineer at Kroger Precision Marketing.
And then my name is Hunter Mays, and I also graduated in 2020. Right now, I'm a technical support representative for Construct Connect.
So those are really cool positions, but I have no idea what they mean. So what do you do in your role? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, so every day to day for me, I have scheduled appointments I'll go through with our customers. Pretty much, if one of our salespeople sells our software, we'll go through and we'll have an appointment with them and install it for them. If they have any issues with it, we'll go through and solve that for them as well.
Okay.
So
Bring it down a level because you've explained it earlier.
So basically, we take a bunch of data from Kroger and we do a lot of stuff with it. So making customers' lives better and using it with other companies, joining with other companies. So that's like a super high level.
When you guys were explaining your stuff before, I think actually one of the first times, Braden, you explained your job to me, you were talking about like clouds and data storage rooms and making spaces for data. And none of that made sense because like I didn't even know data took like space, which sounds dumb. I understand that, but like, yeah. And then earlier when you explained yours, when you had to simplify it for me, it sounded more technical support, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And both of you kind of got started in the IT field by going through a program here at our school, and it's like the early IT pipeline program that directly links with University of Cincinnati. And for people who don't know about that program, it was the first of its kind, not just in like Ohio or United States, but the world. I believe his name is Hazim Saeed, if I'm saying that correctly. He was kind of like the director of this mission with University of Cincinnati. And he saw, and everybody could kind of see the writing on the wall years ago, that the IT industry was going to be booming, but we didn't have the talent to keep filling the roles and the need for the new roles that were going to be coming out. IT, no offense, wasn't the most flashy thing in the world. And so people weren't just running to it. I think there was a lot of people wanting to go into video game design, but not necessarily the other pieces and parts of IT. And so when kids would get to college, it would kind of be too late to capture them. So we came up with this idea of partnering with like local high schools and saying that I'll help you embed the first year and a half of IT curriculum into your school. And if students do that and they get a C+ or better in the classes, they get direct guaranteed entry into UC's IT program. And so when he brought that idea here, we were like, okay, let's try it. So we found a teacher, Miss Shaw, and she had to learn a lot. She had to take 18 classes herself in order to teach that. And then we had to find students who were interested. And so I felt like some kids were very interested right away, maybe a little more interested, and then others were just kind of like, maybe I have a spot in my schedule and I'll try it out. But then we were, as Williamsburg, the first cohort of students that ever graduated the program. We had students represented there, and then you guys were the second ever cohort, I believe, to graduate through this program. So we have a strong partnership with it. That's a lot of words, but for those who don't know about the program, it's absolutely incredible. So how did you both get involved in the early IT program?
Yeah, so for me, it was more just I just enjoyed like video games, building computers when I was younger, and then the classes kind of just popped up, so I just took them. It's CCP. I was already taking other CCP classes at Berg, so might as well just add them to the schedule. And I was interested in IT as well, so more just why not? And then I was interested. I was kind of interested, so
Yeah, and then kind of along the same boat for me. I was interested in video games, obviously, and then I'd already been taking CCP classes at the school. And I was like, you know what? I like video games. I'm already taking these college level classes. I might as well give it a shot. So
Yeah, and I think one of you said earlier, because it was CCP, you knew that at least if you tried it and it wasn't your favorite thing in the world, at least it would kind of transfer. Talk a little bit about that. I don't remember who
yeah, I
said that.
think you
Yeah.
touched on it.
yeah. So like CCP classes, and I know more now than then, but like I was taking those classes, and even if I didn't go down the IT route, they still count as classes that I took through UC. So like say I went to UC and I didn't go down like the IT route, I switched majors. Those are still on like my background. What is it called?
Like kind of like your elective credits.
Yeah.
Like you still had to have them.
It's still on your
Yeah.
transcript. So like I could have used those for other degrees.
Yeah.
But they're always there and you can use them as electives, but it was just free college classes. So like why not take them?
And I always say too, like even if the content, like you're not going to stick with the IT content, like the practice of taking a rigorous college course, I felt like was really impactful too. And so like that year that you guys were in it, I feel like each class had between like 10 and 14 students, if I remember like the student count right. None of them were like overly filled. And I think at least 7 of the 14 kids that were in the program ended up sticking with the program and like graduating through because they were like, this is awesome. I do like it. And there was kind of this consensus from you guys that there was a place for everyone in IT because there were like tons of different fields. So if you can talk a little bit about like the differences in some of the IT fields for me.
Yeah. So when I was a student, I think there was, I can't remember how many, but like I was interested in data. So like data technology was like one of the tracks in the IT degree. I graduated with data technology and software development, but that was more my route. So I was really interested in data. And then later on, I started picking up on like the software piece. So that was where like I was heading.
Yeah, I think there was 4 of them at the time. It was data, software, networking. I think it was. I don't think cybersecurity was its own yet. I think it was a like sub one of networking, but like while taking the classes here at the school, um, just most people kind of gravitated towards programming school or they gravitated towards this networking school. It was never really you liked both. It was one or the other. I kind of for whatever reason gravitated towards the networking stuff. So and then halfway through when I was at school at UC, they opened up the cybersecurity track. So
And that kind of is like what fit for you.
yep. And then after getting into that, I got into some of the deeper level classes. I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is cool.
Yeah, I love the way that it is very transferable. Like there's so many different areas in there, so it's not just one thing. And each
Yeah.
of you, while you work with IT, I bet your jobs are very different. Am I assuming correctly?
Very different.
Yeah,
Very
yes, yes. I would bet they're very different. How did the classes that you took here with Miss Shaw, now it's Mr. Staley teaching it, but like how did the classes here compare to once you got to college? Like were they similar? Were they not similar? What would you say?
I would say they were very similar. As far as like our teacher pushing us to be great. Then as far as the coursework, it was pretty much spot on. You have anything to add?
Yeah, same thing. So like it was like you're still using Canvas, so like you're basically like a college kid. It was like the same curriculum. But yeah, it was like the exact same.
Do you think that like if a student is interested in going into that so they're probably a pretty good precursor to what you could expect if you went to UC?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I like that. I think that's good to know for our teachers too, because like sometimes when we're teaching CCP, we want to make it feel like college. It's different, right? Because we're here 5 days a week. Parents can still call the teachers here, where college, like Jeff's not calling your professor. They're not going to take his phone call. So I like hearing that, it's true to the feeling of what it was like once you did get to college. One of the things that we talked about too that was unique at college, Braden, you went through the entire curriculum for the early IT program. So you had that direct entry. You didn't, but you were still admitted because you did so well in the program. But one of the things that's unique to UC, they were kind of actually the inventor of the co-op. Can you guys talk a little bit about your co-op opportunities that you had?
Yeah, I probably learned more from my co-ops than I did from like the actual classes. Like the classes set like the groundwork. It's like your fundamentals, but like those co-ops shaped me like where I'm at today. Like I had no idea what a data engineer was coming out of high school, going into college. Those roles kind of opened me up. It's like a broader like IT understanding. Yeah, co-ops were huge. Like,
where did you co-op at?
So I co-opted at 3 different companies. One was called Vega Americas. I did help desk, and then I did a data analytics co-op at Centos, and then I stayed on there part time as well. So I worked there for like 2 years, and then I 8451 Kroger Precision Marketing. That was my final one, and then they hired me straight after. So
where'd you co-op, Hunter?
So I also did 3 co-ops. One was at Vega as well. Did the same thing as Braden. I was help desk.
Did you guys work at the same time together?
No, we didn't work at the same time. But one of our other friends who went through the program, me and him worked at the same time. Me
I
and
didn't know if
Casey
you guys
did.
were like, doing lunch breaks together, the whole 9 yards.
we drove up So it's all in Mason.
Uh-huh.
So I would go to Centos and we'd all drive together in the mornings because we all lived in Berg. It was really
That's
cool.
funny.
Yeah. But I had that one, and then after that, I went to Western and Southern,
Okay.
and that was like my first step into like big corporate world. While I was there, I was a security analyst intern,
Mhm.
so like working in a SOC. If anyone knows what a SOC is, Security Operations Center, which is like kind of entry level
Like
into
I'm
cybersecurity.
picturing like a sock.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking like, oh, does he mean like a small room?
No.
Like nope. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so like you work with a team and you go and you like analyze threats or any vulnerabilities or stuff like
Okay.
that. So I got to work with a team there. And then after that, I moved into my third internship with Nationwide, which offered me a student worker position afterwards.
Okay.
And that was like another like 3 steps above my last one because I was working with security architects, which is like way down the road in the field.
Yeah. Do you feel like both of your guys' co-ops, like each one got more challenging or you got more freedom in them?
Definitely got more challenging, and I would say with the challenge, like the challenge of it, at least for my managers, they were always like, "Hey, I'm going to push you, but you have freedom." So
Yeah.
Yeah, so like my last co-op, this was kind of eye-opening. So I walked in, it was like my first week at 8451. It was a cloud engineering co-op, and I had like no experience in cloud engineering. I was just there to learn. It was like a new experience, so I took it. And I walked. It was my first week, and my manager he came to me, and we had a meeting, and he said, "Hey, this is like a 4 month interview." It was like my senior year, and he was like, "Hey, this is a 4 month interview. We're gonna tell you if you're not good, if you're mediocre, if you're really good." And I was like, I was sitting in this meeting like my first week here, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was already like, this is like a crazy job, like a crazy co-op. And I was like, it was just so nerve wracking, but it like shaped me. Like I worked my butt off, and that got me my job
Like
after
you
college.
knew what was on the line.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
didn't before that. It was, I guess I kind of thought of it as an interview, but it really is. It's like you're there to work and learn, but they're like watching you while
They're
you do it.
judging you the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
time.
the
Like
whole time.
professionally judging you the
Yeah,
whole time.
yep, yeah. So it was great. I loved it. And
I love like UC's like the way they embody co-ops because one of the challenges I have, and I think you and I worked on a resume your senior year because it was part of your internship class that you took online. But I remember I do currently, I work with so many kids and they don't know what to put on a resume because in high school, if you're a 3-sport athlete, if you're in like all these leadership clubs, you don't have a job. Or some of the kids that do have a job, they're like, Silerman, it's just, I'm just a cashier here. Like, how do I translate that? And there is a lot that you can say about the sports you do, the like entry level jobs that you do, and that's amazing. But it's not necessarily the experience that's going to get you an IT position in the future. So the fact that they embed at least 3 co-ops into your program, so you have something to put on a resume, it's incredible. It's not just it's obviously great for the learning opportunity, but it's also incredible for the marketability that it gives you guys.
yeah, and then it's 3 co-ops. We took 3 co-ops, but it's 5 semesters. So we were with 3 different companies, but we stayed at, so like I stayed at Centos for 2 semesters
Okay.
and Vega at 2 semesters. So I was there for Vega 8 months. Centos officially that UC knew about, I was there for 8 months full time, and then part time for the other. But yeah, so it's 5 semesters total.
So you've got like a minimum, if I'm doing my math right, like a year and a half experience to put on a resume before you even go get your first like job necessarily. Yep. And I think too, like you talk about being an interview, if it's a place you like and you do well, if there's a spot open, like you have a leg up on some of that competition because you've already put some time in. I think it's just incredible. What was the job search like when you got that big boy diploma?
Yeah, so mine, so like I said, I was at 8451 Kroger Precision Marketing in my cloud engineering job. And then it was towards the end, like the last month of my co-op. I knew I was doing well. I knew my boss was relaying that to me. He was like, "Hey, you're doing really good."
So he was saying like, "Hey, you didn't suck. Like I said you could have."
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
so he was, and then I started reaching out. I brought it up to him. I was like, "Hey, I really want a job here. I want to stay here after I graduate." So he was fighting for me. I reached out to HR. I had meetings with HR people, with recruiters at 8451, and they were also fighting for me. But it was tough to find an open role just anywhere in the business. So I was doing cloud engineering. I wasn't doing data engineering. And they found me a data engineer role, and I had to learn a lot. Even when it was like kind of like a new co-op, but I was full time. But I had to learn a lot when I went to be a data engineer. There was some similarities. I mean, it's the same company, but yeah, so it was more just fighting inside of that company because I knew I wanted to stay there.
You still had to market yourself and
Oh, 100%, yeah.
How about you?
So when I entered and I graduated, I was at Nationwide. and that was after my like student worker thing had ended. They were trying to open me up a role, but the role was going to end up being hybrid, and they're based out of Columbus, and I was not about to make a hour and a half drive to Columbus twice a week. But I did find out during that it's you can have all the experience in the world, but you need to make connections, and you need to make meaningful connections with people, because that's how I ended up getting the job I'm at now, is having connections. And I still talk to some of the people like in my internships other interns I was with, and even coworkers, managers. I still talk to them like pretty regularly if I'm like, hey, what's going on, or hey, what's the job market like over on your side? What's going on? So it's good to have connections and always stay and have an open mind.
But it sounds like too that you can't just sit around and wait for an opportunity to fall in your
No,
lap.
you definitely,
like, it's a competitive field.
Oh, 100%.
I think you guys said earlier too, like, you know, you guys are happy in your roles, but if someone wasn't happy, it's a very transferable job too. Like, you can bounce from company to company, and like, yes, you might have to learn the company protocol, you guys said, but like the job is somewhat similar because it's a skill that you're using. So yeah, it's got to be a pretty cutthroat industry in some ways, but once you're in, it sounds, you guys seem very successful and very happy in your roles. Yeah. Braden, for a while you were working from home, you still get to work from home?
Yeah, it's hybrid. So I go into the office because I like going to the office, like the connections thing. Yeah, people seeing you in the office. But yeah, so it's hybrid.
But if you needed to be home in your pajamas, you could.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so nice. We don't get that in education. Okay, so one of the last question I have is a dream of mine. We've talked a little bit with UC, nothing's for sure, but I would love to see if we could create similar programs here to the IT program. I can't obviously say that there'd be like guaranteed admission, but like in theory, if we could create some like pipeline programs of, hey, if you're interested in healthcare, here's some classes that we have embedded here. Or hey, like if you're interested in engineering, here's some classes we have. And if there were a kid that said, I might be interested in a field, but I'm not 100% sure, what advice would you give them after going through this whole process to where you are now?
100%. Just take it. I mean, like, it doesn't hurt to take a class, a CCP class. Like, you're going to have that on your transcript when you go into college. So take it, you'll learn from it. And then if that's your path, great. If not, well, you got more learning to do. And like, you just keep your mind open.
Yeah. Just say yes. Always gamble on yourself. Always
I like that. Yeah.
Take the next step. Take the step into the deep water that you don't know it's there, because even if you fall down, you're knee deep in water, you learned.
Yeah.
There's always something to learn from anything.
And they can always change it too. It transfers. It's just a good learning opportunity. So I'm hoping to do something like that, but we'll see.
And it's free.
It's free.
Yes. Pays for it.
Yes. Those student loans are not a joke. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure I'll have more questions in the future, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.